Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday morning meditation and Dhamma discussion session. Thank you for joining us. It is open. It is open. Okay, just let them know. Mm, the sutta today we're going to learn about the Chachaka Sutta. That Chachaka Sutta talk about five sense bases. Five sense bases is I, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. These are the five faculties, right? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Today, a sutta discussion based on this five sense basis. That sutta explaining about non-self. Non-self. The Buddhist teaching focus. The goal of Buddhist teaching is attaining enlightenment, right? Attaining enlightenment. To attain enlightenment, we have to understand there are nothing, anything permanent. There are no eternal entity, even humans or animals or deities or gods, whoever sentient beings, there are no eternal entity of in them. Everything is rising, vanishing, rising and vanishing, perishing or falling. This sutta is very important. It is talk about um, learning these the things in this sutta is helps us to study all other suttas because the I is the eternal faculty. Sorry, internal sense. A form, so external sense, right? I and form. When I meet a form, then I consciousness arise. I consciousness arise. I consciousness arise when I meet a form. When you close eyes, no eye consciousness. When I open, then when we see something, and eye consciousness arise. That's the first one I, second one form, internal sense and external form sense. When they meet, eye consciousness arise. Then I form and eye consciousness, three. These three together called contact. In Pali, it is called phassa. Phassa means contact, right? I form and eye consciousness, three together called contact. Just imagine there's a dead body, his eyes open, but form could be visible, but no eye consciousness. His ears open, could be hear sound, but no eye consciousness. Here, eye form, eye contact form, meet form, eye consciousness arise. These three together called phassa, contact. After contact, feeling, right? After contact, a feeling arises. When we contact, then we feel. When we feel, then we craving, grasping, right? Right? When we grasp, it's becoming. Again, continuation in the samsara. Grasping means padana. When we become in, then we birth again, we aging again, we sick, get sick again, and we sorrow, lament, all the mass of suffering continue, right? You see, I form, I consciousness, three together, contact, after contact, feeling, after feeling, craving, grasping, becoming, and will continue in the samsara. This meditation explaining, and this is called vipassana meditation, insight meditation. We meditate to understand reality of the I. What is the I? What's the form? What's the I consciousness? What's the contact? What's the feeling? And what's the craving? Are there anything permanent thing in there or eternal entity in there? We meditate on to understand it. I think you remember once Buddha said to Bahir, when you see something, just consider as a scene. You don't have to or think about it is good or bad. If it is good, you're going to attach to it. If it is not good, if it is bad, you're going to hate it. You don't have to do that. When you see something, just consider it is just a scene, right? Um, the meditation on this sense basis uh, gives us wisdom to realize the reality of these eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, forms, sounds, odors, taste, touches, and thoughts. Okay, I will guide you step by step. Uh, then you close your eyes, sit comfortably, take deep breath, slowly let go a couple of times. Take deep breath, and slowly let go. Keep your back straight. Listen to this bell. Relax into it. Okay, take deep breath. Slowly let go. Couple of times, let go your tension, stress. Just relax. Focus your top of the head. Relax it. Relax your forehead, your face, shoulders, arms, chest, and stomach. Relax your legs and feet. And imagine your position. Adjust yourself to relax. Today we are going to meditate on these Pancha Indriya, five sense bases, internal sense bases and external sense bases. Depending on this internal and external senses and what's going on, we're going to meditate on it. The reality and true nature of this eyes is arising, growing, and disappearing. Eyes are impermanent, temporary, will disappear. And meditate on it. Use your intuition to realize this reality and true nature of the eyes. The eyes are impermanent, temporary, subject to aging, and will disappear. There are no eternal entity in the eyes. Eyes are selfless. It will destroy, vanish, disappear. Eyes are selfless. Now you meditate on the forms, external forms we see through the eyes, those all forms arising, growing, disappearing. Those all forms are temporary, impermanent, temporary exist, and will disappear. No matter how much I love and attach to them or it, its nature is impermanent, temporary, disappearing. There are no eternal entity in them. Forms are impermanent, temporary, exist, will disappear. There are no eternal entity in them. Forms are selfless. No matter how beautiful are they and valuable, the reality and true nature of the forms are impermanent, subject to change, growing old, and will disappear. There are no eternal entity in them. They are selfless. Now you may meditate on eye consciousness. When I see the form, eye consciousness arise. This eye consciousness also impermanent, arising and passing away, disappearing. When we see something, not only one eye consciousness arise in a second, hundred and thousand of consciousness arise. The soul consciousness arising and passing away, arising and passing away. When we see something, there's a certain eye consciousness. When we look at somewhere else, then we see something else, then another eye consciousness arises. The former eye consciousness is gone. The eye consciousness we had in the past, those all consciousness is gone. Whatever consciousness arises when you open the eyes and passing away right away. The nature, reality of the eye consciousness is impermanent, arising and passing away. There are no eternal entity in the eye consciousness. Eye consciousness is selfless. All the time when I see something, eye consciousness arises. Many eye consciousness arise and passing away right away and right there. The eye consciousness, I am permanent, temporary, disappearing. There are no self in there. It is impermanent and non-self. Okay, now we are going to meditate on contact. Phassa. Contact means I form eye consciousness. These three together called contact. Just imagine the dead body. When we touch dead body, he doesn't feel it. There are no contact. If his eyes widely open, yes, open, but he doesn't feel anything. That contact is eyes, form, and eye consciousness, three together called contact, based on the eyes, forms, and eye consciousness. This contact also impermanent, temporary, arising and disappearing. The contact is impermanent, temporary exist, and will disappear. In a second, hundred or thousand of contact arise. All the time when we see something, there are many contact arise and passing away. The eye contact we had in the past is all gone. Whatever contact now arise when you open the eyes is passing away right away. This contact is impermanent, vanishing. There are no eternal entity in the contact. The contact itself selfless. Now we are going to meditate on feeling. Feeling arise depending on contact. When we have the eye contact, we have feeling. All the time when we have eye contact, we have feeling. What's the nature, reality of the feeling? Arising and passing away. Feeling is impermanent, temporary, disappearing. Feelings are impermanent, temporary exist, arising and passing away. All the feelings we had in the past, depending on the eye contact, those all feelings gone. All the time when we open the eyes, we see forms. Then eye consciousness arise. Then three together, eye contact. Then feeling arise. The feeling rising and passing away. And right there, the soul feelings are impermanent, temporary, vanishing, disappearing. The nature of the feelings are impermanent and temporary. These feelings are selfless because they are rising and passing away, disappearing. Selfless. Now let's meditate on craving. Craving arising depending on feeling. Desire. That desire, craving, arising on the depending on feeling. After feeling, then we craving for it, we desiring for it, we greed to it. Whatever that craving is, impermanent, arising and passing away. There are not only one craving. When we all the time when we have a feeling, the craving arises. When that feeling gone, the craving gone. When you have another feeling, it's another craving. The craving is impermanent, arising and passing away. So much craving we had in the past based on the feelings we had. Those old cravings gone. Whatever feelings we have now, the craving arises and passing away. Whatever feelings we will have in the future, and then craving will arise and passing away. The cravings are selfless because arising and passing away. There are no eternal entity in the craving. Cravings are selfless. Okay, now meditate on the ears, internal sense base, this ear. Yes, I am permanent, temporary exist, and will disappear. Yes, are selfless. Then you meditate. Sounds, external sense base, bases sounds. Sounds are impermanent too, rising and passing away. Those sounds are selfless too. There are no eternal entity in the sounds. Whatever sound we heard in the past, those all gone. No matter how much we craved or attached to them, those all gone. Whatever sound now we are hearing is rising and passing, impermanent, disappearing, selfless. Whatever sound we will hear is impermanent too. and selfless. And then you meditate like this. When ears and sound meet, then ear consciousness arises. This ear consciousness is impermanent too, rising and passing, rising and passing away. So many ear consciousness we had in the past, those all gone. The reality, true nature of the ear consciousness is impermanent, rising and passing away. There are no eternal entity in the ear consciousness. Ear consciousness are selfless. Then ears, sound, and ear consciousness, three together, ear contact. This ear contact is also impermanent, arising and passing away. Selfless. Then feeling arises based on the ear contact. The feeling is impermanent too. The feeling when we hear something, the ear consciousness, contact, and feeling. The feeling impermanent, arising and passing away. Selfless. Then craving for the ear consciousness and ear contact and for the feeling. That craving is also impermanent, arising and passing away. Selfless. Then you meditate. Ears, impermanent, selfless. Sounds, impermanent, selfless. Ear consciousness, impermanent, selfless. Ear contact, impermanent, selfless. Feeling, impermanent, selfless. Craving, impermanent, selfless. Keep meditating again and again and again to make it clarify and comprehend. Perceive it clearly. Meditate on repeating it again and again and again to make it very, very clear. Now meditate on the nose, internal sense base. Nose arising, growing old, and will disappear. Nose impermanent, temporary, and disappearing. Nose is selfless. That is what is the reality of the nose. True nature of the nose is impermanent and selfless. because arising and disappearing, perishing, vanishing. And the others, all the others, arising and passing away, temporary, impermanent, and selfless. Whatever orders we had in the past is gone. Whatever order we have is impermanent. Even in the future, is impermanent. All the orders. Then knows consciousness, arising, passing away. Knows consciousness, selfless, because it is not permanent or eternal. Knows consciousness arising, passing away, and selfless. Then knows contact impermanent, temporary, arising and passing away. Then that knows contact is impermanent and selfless. A feeling based on the depending on the nose contact. The old feeling arise, impermanent, disappearing, selfless, craving for the feeling, impermanent, arising and disappearing, selfless. You may imagine the craving you had for all the feeling based on the nose contact and feeling. Those all gone, no more exist, arising and passing away right away. There are no self. Okay, now tongue. Tongue is impermanent, growing, become old, and will disappear. Tongue itself impermanent, temporary, disappearing, non-self. Then all the taste are impermanent, selfless. The taste we had in the past all gone. Whatever taste we have now impermanent, even in the future, arising and passing away. No matter how much, how badly we craving for it, attached to those tastes, but it's impermanent. Then tongue consciousness is impermanent, arising and passing away. selfless feeling based on the tongue consciousness, tongue contact, impermanent, temporary, and craving for the feeling is impermanent, arising and passing away. All the cravings we had in the past for the feeling, depending on the tongue contact, is gone. Then consider the body. This whole body is impermanent, growing old, temporary exist, and will disappear. There are no self in this form, in this body. Body is impermanent. This body is temporary, will disappear, selfless. Then touches, arising and passing away, temporary, selfless. Body consciousness, impermanent, selfless. Body contact, impermanent, selfless. A feeling, depending on the body contact, it's impermanent, selfless. Craving for the feeling, impermanent, selfless. Now let's meditate on the mind. Mind, towards the reality and true nature of the mind, is arising and passing away right away. Arising, passing away. It's temporary. It's impermanent. In a second, thousand thoughts will arise. The mind itself impermanent, passing away, and selfless. That's the most important thing. And the mind, about the mind. There are not only one and only mind. Mind arising and passing away, arising and passing away. There are no self in the mind. So many minds we had in the past all gone. Whatever mind now arises is passing away right there, even in the future. Mind is impermanent and selfless. Then thoughts arising and passing away quickly, arising and passing away. Thoughts are impermanent and selfless. Whatever thoughts we had in the past, those all gone. Even the thoughts arise now will disappear. Thoughts are impermanent, selfless. Then mind consciousness impermanent, arising and passing away. Mind consciousness impermanent and selfless. It is selfless because it is arising and passing away. In a second, so many mind consciousness arise, rising and passing away. The mind consciousness selfless. Then mind contact, the feeling depending on the mind contact, impermanent, selfless, and craving for the feeling, impermanent and selfless. Then you think and meditate these all internal sense bases and external sense bases and all the consciousness, contacts, feelings, and cravings all are impermanent, temporary, disappearing, and selfless. Okay, now I ring the bell. You slowly open your eyes. And this is the practice. This is the study actually. Now you got a time to practice, right? This is the study how we meditate on this sense basis.
Mm.
Um, then when we meditate next time and we meditate, right? This is uh, this is the very important meditation practice.
No.
Right, Michael?